Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome, everyone, to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Are you ready for the 80s, Ted?
Cara, I am in the 80s mode. I know you are. You got the hair going. I've seen all the posts over the weekend. So, Cara, you look like you grew up in the 80s.
I wish I grew up in the 80s, Ted. Honestly, I am a huge fan of the music and obviously the hair, and I would wear the outfits to this day if it was appropriate.
All right. Well, we will find out if our featured guests tonight are. I want to welcome everybody tonight. Our good friend, Sean Parrott, from Mercedes-Benz of Farmington, Utah, part of the Schomp Automotive Group. Sean, welcome, and you brought some friends with you tonight.
Yeah, I did. I brought my boss, our general manager, Nicholas Sandoval, and also our wholesale parts manager, who is Shalisa Barney.
Nick and Shalisa, welcome to the After Dark edition of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Great to have you both here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right, so we are live tonight, and Cara, we're live on what is it? Just LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and obviously they will all be up and airing. If you missed the show, you can watch it on replay on our YouTube channel. So hopefully everyone is sharing the video tonight and commenting down below for our guests.
Great, and we'll bring those chats in. And I want to thank, of course, our exclusive sponsor for the After Dark show. It is BG Products, partners beyond products. We are very grateful to them for all they do for our industry. And BG Products, thank you so much again on behalf of the Fixed Ops community. So congratulations to Mercedes-Benz of Farmington. Nick, again, you seem to be setting record after record. Kyle Cloud, good evening in Orlando. And Nick, you've built a great team and you got a great thing going there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's I got to say, I'm pretty humbled. It's a great opportunity for me out in Utah. I'm from Colorado myself, so this store's been open for about 6 years, and I had the opportunity to come and work here. As you said, build this team. It's really all about them. I give them all the credit for our wholesale advances and the things that we've done, but it's fun.
And you know, Nick, parts is not exactly the most sexy or glamorous part of the dealership. Nick, did you come up in the parts department or no?
I did not, but take a look at Sean when you say that. Come on now. That's that guy in the top rank. No, I did not actually. My background is on the variable side. So I started, I've been in the business for about 12 years. I started as in sales and then worked my way up to a sales manager and then a sales trainer. So I did corporate training for the Schomp Group. And then when we opened the Mercedes point, it was an open point in Utah. And so my wife and I moved out to Utah, and I started as the general sales manager. I did that for about 8 months until our VP at the time was kind of going back and forth. You may know Brian Briscoe. He's pretty well known in the Schomp organization. And so I was very, very lucky to have him as my mentor. And then by the time that it was ready for him to move back, I was able to jump into the GMC. It was certainly probably a little bit too quick. I will admit that. I think I probably got a little in over my head at the beginning, but sometimes it's fun to be thrown into the deep end. So I am an NADA graduate, so I went to GM school. So, but that's about where my fixed ops background was. And really it was just learning on the go and really just, like, as you said in the beginning, creating a team. So.
And I see Nick from Wagon Master in the chat tonight, Michelle McLean, Cindy Reynolds, Tony Owens. Good evening to all of you. Nick, that training background, which I think you and I, as we're chatting just before, I've had that training background as well, is so valuable no matter what, because at the end of the day, Nick, it's still a people business. Yeah,
you're 100% right. I mean, I think that, obviously we can go strategies and all these sorts of things all day, which is what we'll get into. And that's that's a really interesting part of it. But at the end of the day, we all know that it's a people business, and you got to be able to connect with people. And we can talk all we want, but if you don't have the ability to actually apply that, and you can't work with your team who is ultimately going to be working with the people, then really you don't have anything. In my position, I'm really being genuine when I say that I'm not responsible for all of these successes that we have. I think what I do well is I'm able to put together a team like Sean and Shalisa who just do such an amazing job. and I want to make sure that they stay happy, and I provide whatever I can for them, because at the end of the day, they're the rock stars. So.
And they are. And Carvey Parker, good evening to you tonight. Shalisa, I saw a couple posts on LinkedIn in the last couple weeks. There was one from Sean Parrott and there was one from yourself. Congratulations to you, wholesale parts manager at Mercedes-Benz Farmington Champ Automotive Group. Shalisa, great work that you are doing.
Thank you so much. Sean definitely took a chance on me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because Sean, Shalisa did not come up through sales, like Nick did. Sean, give us a little bit of the backstory on that, if you don't mind.
Well, we were looking for somebody to fill that role, as I have been the wholesale person, parts manager, trying to wear many hats. And we were kind of going through some people. We had a little bit of turnover in that position. It's not an easy position to fill. And so we found Shalisa's resume, and she had a very strong customer service background, but she also was an express tech with Honda. So speaking with our HR director there, that she said, oh, she interviewed great. I brought her in, and I mean, she just wowed me from the interview. I mean, like, I can imagine being on the other side of the phone talking to her. And so we brought her on board, even though she had, like I said, the only experience she had pretty much in automotive field was as a express tech. But people buy from people. I mean, that's our golden rule here. And for her attitude and her customer service, and that's what we do really well. And I believe it sets us apart from everybody else, is that customer service is what drives us. And she does a fantastic job of it.
And Shalisa, congratulations to, Kara and I have had a lot of conversations. It's not easy to work in retail. And you know what? A woman in retail, hats off to you, because we don't have enough women, in the retail business.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Starting as a technician helps me out a little bit here and there if I ever have issues with anybody being worried with me being a female. But the one thing I just always say is I have stuff to learn every day when it comes to cars, when it comes to parts, when it comes to just our specific catalog. But one thing I do have is great customer service. And I know with that and a mixture of Sean being there to back me up, we're rooted for success 100% of the time.
Wow. James English, good evening to you as well, my friend. Shalisa, let's talk about that. Was that experience on the service end on Honda, was that valuable to you in coming into the parts, having that, understanding of what's going on the service side?
Most definitely. One big thing I noticed was the discrepancies of technicians not being able to understand the parts departments not being able to understand the technicians' frustrations. So now that I've been in both, I feel that it's just helped me to succeed and learn more to be able to understand both aspects of it, and also just use my knowledge from working as a technician and being able to transfer that into learning more about parts as well.
Cara Delane, I think we have found another superstar here tonight in Shalisa. What do you say?
Yes, I love to see other young women excelling in the automotive industry. And I love your background, being a technician, and how you're correlating the two there. And we need more advocates like you out there in dealerships, speaking their mind. So I'm glad that you're on the show tonight.
Thank you so much.
So, Sean, great job to you and your team. Every time I talk to you, you're setting a new record. And you were on the show a little while back in terms of communication between parts and service. I don't know if you recall that, but there were some unique things that we shared at a panel, I think sometime middle of last year. Do you remember that?
Yes, it's where we actually put our parts advisor for the shop in the shop, which, a lot of places won't do that. Everybody's still at the back counter. I'm not going to take that credit. Nick actually came up with the idea. I was pretty much all ears once he came up with it, but we figured, what can we do to keep the correct parts going to the technicians? And the farther you are away from the technicians, the easier it is to have confusion. So what we do is we have a person that's stationed out into our shop. That person is pretty much like a waiter at a restaurant. When he gets an order, we use X time. And when they get an electronic request for parts, he goes across, takes his Microsoft Surface tablet, goes to the technician, goes through everything just like a waiter would at your table dinner. make sure you have everything correctly. He confirms everything. And it's very few and far between where we have any type of part discrepancy where we, he ordered a crank sensor and we got a cam sensor or something like that. So like I said, very few and far between. As for us, it's worked out very well.
Michelle, I agree with you. Parts absolutely matters as well. Nick, you're a sales guy. You're not supposed to come up with all these great ideas for fixed operations and service and parts.
You know how sales guys go. We get a little crafty, right? But yeah, it just, there was a time where that was the biggest hurdle that we had in our fixed operations was really parts being incorrect, and it was a lot of this back and forth. It was the technician that gave the wrong part. It was the parts advisor who ordered the wrong thing. And the unfortunate part is that it always seems to be parts who kind of gets the short end of the stick every single time. It's always parts' fault. And quite frankly, it started out of me just trying to step up for Sean and the team because I was sick and tired of hearing about how bad they were when I knew it wasn't the case, right? And so what we decided to do is exactly what Sean said. The whole idea was just be there and actually be in the bay, because now when you can take a Surface tablet and just actually ask the technician, here's what I think you said, I want to visually show you what I've got. Is this the correct part? We're on the same page. And I'm really happy to say that's one of the better things that I've mistakenly done, I would say. But it's definitely worked out really, really well. I haven't heard the last time that it's parts' fault because we ordered something wrong. I mean, it's been a year at least since then. So and to add on to that, it's been really good to be able to move out and create a bin in the shop. So now we've got express parts out there, so that it's a lot quicker, and it's just been a really, really good thing all the way around. So really proud of that.
And Shalissa, a lot of focus on parts. So we're hearing about the unique retail things we're doing. Is this focus on wholesale, Shalissa? Is that fairly new for the company, or is that something that that you brought on, that Sean brought on? How'd that all come about?
Sean definitely was the key in starting wholesale, and he was just trying to handle it himself while being manager. And so he tried to find somebody that he could trust to take over that role, and he did give that to me. And clearly, we've definitely seen some good things come out of that. He's definitely, I feel like, had harder times with getting used to that he can trust somebody else running wholesale. And I've just consistently had those conversations and proved to him that he can lean on me and give those responsibilities to me.
Jeff Bogaski, good evening. And we've got some great retail leaders here on the show tonight. So Sean, again, I come back to you. Take us through that. You put Shalissa in this role, and how did that get started? Were there any any hiccups along the way, as there would be with most anybody taking on something new, or did her attitude, go above all those things?
No, honestly, I don't think we had any real major hiccups. But we took a very proactive way of onboarding her. We just didn't take the initial approach. Okay, here's your day. Here's a computer. Tomorrow you're on the phone. What we did is we took it over 3 weeks. And I even told Shalissa at the beginning, I said, trust me, you're going to be getting tired. Like, I want to be on the phone. I want to be on the phone. But we did our first week. She just sat there, just watched me, just like, like I was on TV or something. And all she did was watch how I spoke to people, how I answered the phone. What did I say? How did I, while people was on hold waiting for parts, what do I do? Second week, I let her take notes and just sit there again and watch out. And the third week, she could start asking questions about this. Okay, what did I do? And we slowly broke her in. So it's almost like it was the fourth week before she even got to be on the phone and answering questions. And I think because of that way, she learned it the right way. It boosted her confidence, because it's like, okay, there are going to be times where I'm not going to know the answer off the top of my head. There's going to be those unpleasant silences while, you think they're waiting on you. And so it's just the way we onboarded her so that she would be, when she was on the stage, she was going to be ready for it. We weren't just going to throw her into the mix.
And Sean, tonight we're live. This is a Monday night. Mondays are not typical that I would see you folks on the roundtable. Talk to us about that.
Well, we're closed on Mondays. We are open for business.
Wait, go back, because I know that got Kara's attention. Say it again.
We are, as a dealership, And if anybody's looking for, jobs or stuff like that, I mean, we get 2 days off every week.
In a
And,
row.
we are open for business from Tuesday through Saturday. We are closed on Sundays and Mondays.
Wow.
And, and the one thing out of that, it works great for us. And we did it out of necessity when COVID came out. And we just didn't know how we were able to withstand the business, be able to, cover the hours we could. We knew we wouldn't be able to keep everybody on board. And we got together, me and Nick and our other leaders here. We kind of went through different ideas. And this was the idea we came up with. And, we got a little bit of criticism from some that, people say was the first step in us going out of business. And it's quite the opposite. We turn more hours, sell more cars, sell more parts, do all these things in less hours, because no matter when we're open, you have our all-star team.
Wow, I love it. Nick, I don't know if you know, but this gentleman in the chat right now, Robert Migliaccio, mentioned that they're working towards your system. He's with a group called Carter Myers Automotive, and they're based on the East Coast, and they're growing and they're looking for best practices. So, Nick, this Sunday, Monday being closed does not go unnoticed in the retail community.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's probably the best thing that we've ever done as a company. We are lucky in Utah. We have to be closed on Sunday. So really for us, it's only one additional day. Admittedly, I don't know that I would do that if this was a state where you had to be open 7 days a week. I don't know that we can be open closed 2 days more than our competition. But for us, being that we're closed on Sundays, it's just that one additional day. And as I said, it's truly been amazing. When I first brought that to my owner years ago, obviously you look at a financial statement and think there's just no way we can do that. But as Sean mentioned, it started out of COVID, and I have absolutely zero intention of ever going back. We have happier employees. Just like Sean said, think about it. You have your best people work open to close every single day when you're open. That's amazing from every single standpoint. Your expenses are lower. Overtime is managed. Overall expenses in terms of utilities and keeping the place open for the additional day is less. As we said, you always know from a staffing point of view, you know exactly who's supposed to be here. You know how frustrating it is when you have literally you come in on the day and you don't know who's supposed to be off or who's supposed to be there or who comes in for a late shift or who comes in for morning. Everybody works open to close Tuesday through Saturday, and it's really straightforward. And the other thing that I will point out about that too, since somebody else is thinking about it, is one of the things that always bugged me, because as we said, I came from the variable side. Saturday is your biggest day of the week, right? Everybody knows in sales, Saturdays you have to be there. It's got to be busy. Well, as soon as I took over as general manager, the attitude is Saturdays are a throwaway day. We're Monday through Friday. Like, you can be open, but you're going to get a couple express, you're going to get oil changes, those sorts of things. But Saturdays are just kind of overlooked. You won't even have mainline technicians a lot of the times. You run a skeleton crew just so you can be there, worst case. I can tell you right now, Saturdays are just as busy as anything. So if I said nothing in this entire thing, I would say Saturdays are 100% a day where business can be made. It's all completely mental in how you set up your shop and the way you set up your schedule, because it's just as busy as a Tuesday for us.
And Tracy in the chat, I'm going to ask Shalisa and Sean about your question about tires in just a moment. While I have Nick, also give us a little bit of the lay of the land about how many retail new and pre-owned does the dealership do, and then how many technicians, ballpark?
Yeah, sure. So take a given month, we always kind of hover right around that 100 to 120 mark. We're definitely pre-owned heavy, so we'll do, quite frankly, for a while we were 4-to-1 used to new, which was incredible, which was great for us because it got us through COVID. When new cars, there's nothing you can do. The factory's going to give you what you're going to give, but I don't believe in sitting back and waiting for that. I think you kind of have to, take matters into your own hands. So used is big for us. So definitely more of a used focus, which is good for everything. It's great for internal on fixed, and it's good for our salespeople. Always gives them something. In terms of technicians on the variable side, we've got 15 technicians. We've got 17 bays. So I think we're up to 5 Sprinter bays at this point because we do commercial as well. So we kind of break that up. Within those 15, we've got 2 express technicians that just do the fast, quick lube services. We've got 3 commercial vehicles. So that would be your Sprinter technicians. And then we've got 1 working on 2 dedicated internal for used. and then the rest are mainline technicians. So 4 service advisors, and and then we've got 6 people in parts, including Sean. I think that's kind of the lay of the land.
Tully Williams, I see you in the chat. We're going to have a little trivia here, Tully. Stand by for that as well. Sean and Shalissa, back to the tires question in terms of what you stock and what you keep there.
I'll answer. Yeah, we're very proactive with tires. I still believe in the basics. So tires, brakes, batteries. I mean, we're a dealership. We're a service center as part of the dealership. So we probably invest about 15% of our total inventory, which is anywhere from around $100,000 to $150,000 in tires. So for us, I mean, we do a very good job with MPIs where we just don't grade red or green. I mean, we're good at giving the customer where they're truly at with their tires. But no, we do a tremendous job with our tire sales. Dealer Tire is who handles it for Mercedes-Benz, gives us more. I mean, they're very adequate in giving us what they need. I mean, there's always rebates going on. We're priced right. So we do a very good job, and we usually lead our market in tire sales.
I love it. Shalissa, where do you see this going with wholesale? Because, it seems like you're really just getting started.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of potential for growth, especially coming in this next year. Mainly focusing on the larger chained collision shops and getting them to purchase solely from us, and then also just doing a lot more online with Amazon and eBay. With how easy it is to order online, a lot of retail customers are purchasing their oil filters, air filters, the simple quick maintenance. They're purchasing it online. They're not coming up to the counter to get it anymore. So we're just proactively adding more and putting more online and making it easier to access with Amazon Prime.
I see a lot of dealerships going to those platforms, the eBay platform, the Amazon. So you've got those storefronts as part of your wholesale operation as well?
Yes, we do. On a
Wow.
daily basis. That's usually the first thing I do in the morning.
Wow. So kind of take us through that. You come in the morning and you're looking at what came in overnight and what you can fulfill, and to kind of take us through your day a little bit.
Yeah, Amazon orders we have to have fulfilled within 1 to 2 days max. So I'm always on top of that first thing in the morning, getting those fulfilled, shipped out. Move on to our eBay orders and just personal website orders and getting those all fulfilled as quickly. The one good thing about the eBay orders and our personal website orders I can message them ahead of time and ask them for their VIN to ensure that they're also ordering the correct part and getting the correct part to make sure that they don't have to return and spend more time getting the correct part later on.
Wow. So Mark Mickens, Nick, Mark Nickens is one of those New Jersey Mercedes dealers, having been fixed ops director at one of the largest stores. And great to see a lot more wholesale as well, Mark. So I know you can appreciate that, running a very large facility there in Paramus, New Jersey on Route 17. So Nick, who would have thought we'd be talking about wholesale parts and online part sales with eBay and Amazon?
Yeah, well, you have to. I mean, you absolutely have to. I think, this is the way that the business is going. I think from my chair as an operator, I mean, the biggest thing that we look at is obviously everybody knows that the last couple of years have been great. There's been a lot of, grosses and things have been captured on the variable side. And I think myself and our owners obviously don't want to see net go backwards, and it's not going to come from variable. That's for sure. It's going to come from volume. And I'm really excited about it. I got to tell you, I just genuinely, I've been telling my staff this like just a broken record, but I truly am incredibly optimistic about 2023 and going forward, because I think this is where the good stores and the good operators are really going to shine. I think that people have not, there may have been choices, but you just kind of went to whoever was there. It was just kind of who was open and who would take your call. And at this point, we're going to see who is really operating with the correct process and with the right people. And so as long as we can put in the right processes, as you can see, I mean, we have the right people. These guys are fantastic. So I'm looking forward to it.
And Sean, what's the plan for the rest of 2023? What do you see ahead in terms of growth? Here we are, middle of February.
No, I think we're going to have a tremendous year. I was telling them, I think I told you before recording, we already hit it last month. We hit another record month, and that's what we chase. We don't chase goals. We hit 190% of our goals. We don't chase goals anymore. Every month we want to have the best month ever. And we've already, as of today, which is February, we already have our second best mark ever. A couple days later this week, we'll have another, unprecedented month this year. And it's just only going to get better. The biggest thing we're going after is, as Shalisa mentioned, is, MSO, multi-store organizations. And those are the ones that trust us. And I can't preach enough about those is, a lot of those organizations have 20 or 25 stores. Yeah. As they grow, you grow. You don't have to worry about capturing more business. So if they purchase 2 or 3 more businesses, that's just easy for you because that's 2 or 3 more businesses you don't have to go out and capture. And that's what's really moving us forward. The online business, we have online retailers that have trusted us to manage their business. So we ship out about 15 to 20 orders for a big online reseller that they realized they were losing sales because they couldn't stock everything in their warehouse. So they gave us their permissions, their accounts, their UPS accounts, and we basically drop ship for them. And, and all this, the biggest thing is this increases, like for our inventory parts manager, increases your breadth and your depth of your inventory. So, those vehicles that you're not seeing in your service drive every so often, it gives you another avenue to get those hits in order to get those parts into stock.
Wow, I love it. Congratulations to all of you on the success Mercedes-Benz of Farmington is having. Our next event is coming up in May, Sean. I know you're going to be back, and I'm thinking actually of inviting this whole group back because you guys are amazing. Shalisa, you have not been on the Fixed Ops Roundtable big events yet, and Nick, but if you don't mind, I'd like to invite all of you to come back and do this again. Let's light this up as a panel. In the meantime, that event is going to have a theme, and it's called Back to the 80s. All of our events have themes. Kara is in charge of the themes, okay? So, Kara, I know you've put a couple things together for tonight's event and kind of shared with us a little bit of a quiz I think you've got for us and our audience.
Yeah, so we wanted to have some fun with Back to the 80s, and our next event is in May. And so leading up to the event in May, we thought, why don't we get a little creative with the 80s and not just my hair and Ted growing his mullet out, beyond that, to engage with our audience and our panelists. And so we wanted to play a little game tonight with you guys. Okay. And it's gonna be 20 things, I believe. And we're gonna see how many of those you've done and how many you haven't done. So we're gonna pull it up here and you'll see it on the screen. And we're going to go line by line, and we'll see who has the lowest score on things that you've never done.
All right. So, Kara, take it away.
So, a rotary phone. Has anybody on here used a rotary phone?
I have.
Maybe as a joke one time. I don't know that.
Lisa, do you know what a rotary phone is?
Yeah, maybe at my grandmother's house when I was young. Maybe I called somebody that way before there were area codes.
Okay.
So, have you ever used a floppy disk?
Yeah, Oregon Trail.
Yep.
There we go. Yep. Have you used a typewriter?
Yes.
Yep.
Taken photos with a film camera?
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, my daughter, who's 21, Kara, has a film uses a film camera. So that's one of the few that she said she had done. Go ahead.
That's coming back.
Yeah, it is.
Listen to music on a CD.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, everybody has.
Yeah.
And listen to music on a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The mixtapes. Yes.
Used to
now,
record
what about
the radio on
vinyl record?
Yes, and that's coming back as well. It's easier to find. It seems easier to find a vinyl record nowadays than a CD in the store.
Right?
Absolutely, yes.
And then listen to music on a Walkman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out on that one. Listen to music on a boombox.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
I never put it on my shoulder, but yeah. Yeah.
Watch a video from a VHS tape.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, this one I feel like everyone's done. Sent or received a fax.
Yeah.
Had a MySpace account.
Absolutely.
No.
Yep. Still got that account, Kara.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Everybody look up Ted on MySpace after this.
You're right.
You might have another.
Right. mullet in his profile picture.
Yes, that's the one.
Did y'all have an AOL email address?
Yes.
Still do. Yep.
Yeah.
This
did.
next one cracks me up. Access the internet by dialed up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And chat.
And have you ever used a phone book?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
bet.
Have you ever sent a postcard?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever sent a postcard. No.
Used a paper map to get somewhere?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Owned a dictionary?
No.
Owned an encyclopedia?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And last but not least, have you paid for something with a paper check?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I hope everyone was keeping count. So we're counting the ones that you have never done. Okay? Does everybody have their total?
Yeah.
Not quite. Sorry.
All right, Sean.
Well, I'm
many
gonna show
have you-
I'm gonna show my age. I've done all of those. Some recently.
What? Okay, now Nicholas.
3 of them. 3 of them.
Oh,
Only
okay.
3.
Only
Shalisa?
3.
I have never done 12 of those.
Oh wow.
Wow.
You
love
made
it.
me feel better because mine was 6.
Yeah. I was not close there. I'm only 22 though.
Oh, I'm not the youngest one on here for a change. Thank you for being on the show tonight. Okay, Ted. you're
I'm
the
right
same.
there with Sean. I've done all those things and still doing some, right, Sean? So
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So our event coming up is going to be in May, everybody. It is back to the 80s. You could see some of the folks, Ed Roberts, who's in the chat tonight, Tully Williams as well, Sarah Van Tyne, Kara, and myself. And this is going to be a 4-day event. Sean, hard to believe we're doing 4 days now.
Yeah.
May 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. All the seats are complimentary, everybody. It's a full event. A lot of best practices from the best retailers like Mercedes-Benz Farmington are going to be on the show, and looking forward to have everybody there. The tickets are complimentary. Kara, we're at fixedopsroundtable.com, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Everybody can get their complimentary tickets. All of the info about the upcoming event at fixedopsroundtable.com.
Right. So looking forward to that. So Nick, wonderful meeting you. Shalisa, thank you as well. And look forward to seeing a lot more of you here at the event. So
Thank you so
Whenever
much.
you'll have us. Yes.
yeah. And Sean, thank you, my friend, for putting all this together on short notice. And
Yeah, no,
great job, Sean. And congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being with us tonight. And we look forward to hopefully having you all back for our Back to the 80s event this May. And thank you everyone for commenting down below tonight and playing our game with us and asking our new guests some questions tonight. So we appreciate it. We enjoyed our time tonight, and we will see you all on Wednesday at 8 p.m.